When I write any kind of essay, I'm going to need to research facts. Even if I'm writing a narrative essay, a story, I'm still going to need to look for facts. The difference in a narrative essay is that I don't need to document those facts, but I do in an expository research paper. Because I want to be a good researcher and state facts, let's look at this statement that I've written. A friend of mine actually fears long words. Jane is so fearful that she has trouble learning to read. Tons of people are also afraid of long words. Okay, how many people are a ton of people? I don't know either. So obviously, I need to find something specific. So I write, it is estimated that between 3 to 15% of the population is also afraid of long words. Wouldn't you say and agree with me, how do you know that? How do you know it's 3 to 15%? Well, I'll show you how we know. I found it on this website, and I looked at the article, and I found it right there. Now, this is not a scientific website, so the statistic of 3 to 15% is a general idea, and that is why I used the words, it is estimated. So I'm not saying this is the actual number, it's estimated. Now, I need to show here where I found that information, don't I? So let's go back over to that website, and I'm just going to show the title of that website. And I'm going to put it right there, and I'm going to end the sentence so that I have my little fact. But that's not enough to let the reader see exactly where I got that information, and that is where we come up to creating a Works Cited page. A Works Cited page is formatted like this. Do you see everything is in Times New Roman 12 font? Everything is double spaced. The author of the article or the name of the website, if I'm just using a website that contains multiple contributors, is at the margin. Second line is indented. And as you can see, there's no gap between the citations. We call this information about where the information was found a citation. So there is a website called Easybib, and that's what we're going to use to create the citation. Easybib is a wonderful website. It keeps up with how current trends are set for formatting. The problem is sometimes it can be persnickety. The other problem is ChatGPT and no other AI other than Easybib will format properly. So let's learn together how to use Easybib. Easybib.com is a free resource, and you can set up your account here. When you set up the account, the citation lists that you have created will show in a list when you hover over your name that you have set up. Here you can see all the citation lists that I've set up, which is by no means a complete list. And I'm going to create a citation list for this project that I am working on about fear of long words. I click the plus sign, I'm going to give it a name and click Create. There are several formats for creating Works Cited, and some of them are listed here. For our purposes, for this campus, we'll be using MLA, Modern Language Association. Other universities use APA or any other numbers of formats, and if that happens, we don't worry because we can go to Easybib and click on whatever is used. The project shows here. And now, remember where we found that information. We're going to create the citation, and I'm going to show you how. Remember this website? We're going to go up here. We're going to copy this. We're going to go back to Easybib. We're going to create the citation. and we're going to paste that URL right here. And then we're going to click search. And we're going to let Easybib think. And now it has located that information. And there it is. I can go in and edit this citation if I need to. And I'm going to want to make sure that the title reads like a title rather than like a URL. So I know I'm going to work on that. There's the author's name. There's the information. Yes, I want to display the URL, not as a live link, but I always want to do that. Now I'm going to fix this title and I'll be right back. I fixed that title so that the words are capitalized, and I click Update the Citation, and there it is. Let's go do one more citation together. I'm going to find an official definition for the word that means fear of long words, which is this incredibly, ironically long word. So let's go into Google and find that. And now I'm going to look for a definitive source. Healthline. I just want the dictionary. I want something that's an absolute. Remember, we can't use Wikipedia. Why? That's right, because we can change Wikipedia on command, and that means that it's not a legitimate site. This one could work. Let's click on that. And now I have the definition of this incredibly long word. And I want to add that to my works cited. Remember, if I opened the website, I add it to my Easybib project. So I go back over to Easybib, I'm going to create another citation. And how do I do that? That's right, I create the citation. I come over here, I paste it in there, I click search, let it think a minute, and there it has. And I'm going to click Cite. And there we have it. And the title looks okay on this one. We can just go ahead and click Edit just to make sure. Okay, that's good. Looks good. Yes, I want the URL to display. And I click Update the Citation. Now let's say that I have completed all of my citations for my project, and I need a little bit of something, and I'm going to find that fact in ChatGPT. Let's look at that together. I'm looking for the origin of the word, and I've come over to ChatGPT and I've asked it where the word came from. But I cannot use ChatGPT as a source, so I need to make sure that this AI shows me where that information originated. The chat came up with this information, and remember I added show the citation for the origin of that information, because that is what I will be showing in my citation. And then I asked for the URL for that citation, and let's say I'm using this one. I pasted that into Google, and there it is. So now I'm going to go up here and I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to go over to Easybib, and I'm going to create this next citation. And before I use any of that information that just came from ChatGPT, I want to make sure that I have this cited. Remember, we don't want any all caps in our citations, so I need to edit this. Remember the three little dots? Edit, and let's take out the all caps. In this case, there is no author for the article. It's from this website. And yes, I want to display the URL. The reader could go and find this if they needed to. Update the citation. Now, here we go. And that's how we can use research that we find using an AI app by making sure that AI app includes where the information originated. So now I'm going to work on that little paragraph, and then we'll come back and see how this will be formatted into the perfect Works Cited page. So I've written these sentences, which I've documented by showing the reader where I found that information. So I'm not plagiarizing. I'm not using ChatGPT to create content for me. I'm using it to research information, and then I'm quoting that information and showing where it originated. Now let's see how we make that Works Cited page, which we're going to add to the end of this document. So we're going to come down 2 spaces, and let's go over to Easybib and see what we do. Let's say I've completed all my research. I've documented all of my citations that show where I found information, and I'm ready to create that pretty document that I showed you at the beginning of this video. I'm going to export all. Now I have a choice, a Word document or Google Docs. I'm going to demonstrate a Word document because as students and employees of this institution, we get Word free. Let me show you how. When we log into our email, which is through Outlook, we see that we have Outlook for our email and we have Word that comes free. So that is how we're going to demonstrate creating Easybib using a Word document. I'm going to click this and export. As you can see, the Works Cited showed up at the top of my page. I'm not sure where it will show up for you. You do need to do this on a computer, not on a phone. So let's click on it, see how it looks. This opens in Word. I'm going to click Enable Editing, just in case there are any errors with this that I need to correct. Everything is all perfect, so I'm ready to add this to my essay. I'm going to copy this like this. And because this is a short document, I simply come down 2 spaces and I'm going to paste this into my document. And I'm going to make sure it pastes in correctly. See, that's not correct. That's all over there at the margin. This isn't correct, right? So I want to make sure that I select the option that will allow the Works Cited to format properly. If I'm not sure whether or not this is properly formatted, I can always go over to my sample and compare the citation list that I have created with the sample that shows the proper formatting. Let's say something horrible happens, and when I paste it into my document, it comes up like this. It's not over here in normal, it's over here in heading, and it's all a mess. It's not correct in any way. So I can try to get that to work by clicking over here to normal, but that didn't work either. So sometimes I have to go back and repeat the process to make sure it gets formatted into there correctly. So I would take that out and I would paste that in properly. And if I can't find it properly there, then I go back to that original download from Easybib, which, as you remember, was right here, and I just copy this and start over again. I just want to make sure that I turn in the final product exactly as it's supposed to be formatted. If somehow Easybib is not working with you and you've tried clearing your cache and clearing your memory and you've gotten as far as showing the citations, but there's some problems getting that to work because, as you can see, Easybib is a big application. This is showing formats for a number of different types of websites and interviews and those kinds of things, and therefore it can kind of get problematic. And if that happens, then there's a video below this one that shows you how to solve that problem. That concludes this first tutorial on how to use Easybib to create the perfect works cited.